GALAXIAS chapter 15 is out, and we got another short chapter. Not counting the cover page, it's 9 total pages, which is still concerning due to how short it is, but with the context of this chapter, I guess it makes sense. But it also feels like it should have also been part of last week's chapter as well, but that's just my opinion on the matter for now. Either way, this is a pretty solid chapter, but really quick chapter in and of itself. So, before we jump into things, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps, and it shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel, and shows you want to see more. Also, I believe next week is break week for Weekly Shonen Magazine, so there will be no GALAXIAS chapter review next week. It'll come out the following week. And I'm currently in the process of planning out a video to take the chapter review spot for next week, so we can keep things going in terms of discussion. But with that out of the way, let's jump straight into this chapter. Chapter 15 of GALAXIAS, titled Setting Out and Onward Part 2. And the cover image is somebody reading a book on a couch in what seems like a bar, and their image is obscured. Now, if I were a betting man, it's possible this was Yuri Holst, but there's no tail. As I was looking back on Chapter 1, Yuri Holst had a tail. So this might be potentially a new ally or a brand new antagonist that will be introduced in the next arc, and this is just the author's way of teasing us. Now, we continue on from last week, after Schmidt said that NERAID had the ability to not only be a dragonfolk, but to become human. And so we get a bit more of an elaboration on Schmidt's hypothesis, saying that it's just what he means. By suppressing his dragon power, NERAID can transform himself into something that is incredibly close to being in a human-like state. So him hiding his tail is suppressing his dragon traits and abilities. And it seems like other dragonfolk could potentially do it, but you just need a lot of skill in order to do so, and it's just incredibly difficult even for some of the best, from what I can tell from Schmidt's dialogue, saying that it is skill required to do it, and it's incredibly high, and not many can even learn how to do this. Because to a dragonfolk, it'd be the equivalent to a human trying to stop their own heart. Now, Gio says, especially out here in the sticks, which I'm not sure what she means by this, I guess in terms of the chance to learn and do difficult things like suppressing their powers, I guess. But I guess they never really needed to do so for a lot of these dragon folks, so maybe that's what Gio's getting at. An interesting choice of dialogue, in my opinion, that I'm not quite getting. Let me know in the comments if you can suss this out, but for right now, I'm not entirely sure. Gio says that this is amazing, and that she knew that he was strong, but I guess this shows how special NERAID actually is. But NERAID says, if that's true, why is it something I can do? And Schmidt admits that he's not even sure. But there's one thing he can say for certain. The fact that he can suppress his power means that he can also draw it out to a larger degree, and that is the basis for his technique, saying that he's still hiding his true power, and that's what fascinates him the most. And looking back, this actually makes a lot of sense throughout all of NERAID's fights, because NERAID has been hiding his tail first chapter in every interaction he's ever had, but the second he unleashes his tail, he uses all sorts of power that he has not used. So I guess this is a way of him bottling up his power while also bottling up his tail, and he can then, in a huge burst, unleash it to an absurd degree. Which, I guess, in terms of being like called the wave dragon, does kind of make sense. And this is really interesting to think about, because it actually adds a bit more into NERAID being in this state, because he's doing this with almost no effort. And even right now, even when he's unleashed his powers, outside of that one instance with Chuck, which might have been his true power popping up, even unleashing it, he hasn't fully utilized and unleashed his true powers. But their conversation is cut short as someone is coming by to check everybody's tickets. So Gio goes to grab her tickets from her bag as they decide to shelve the conversation for later, but Gio makes a pretty shocking discovery that she lost her tickets, and that in the crowd, she must have dropped them. And she begins to panic, because if they're caught, they'll probably learn her name. And after that, the government's going to be all up on their ass. And yeah, they're going to be hunted even harder now. They've managed to get by relatively easily. But yeah. But it's then Gio ends up calling out to Schmidt. And in another really funny gag, Schmidt just uses abilities to look like an old man enjoying the view out the window as she calls him a traitor. Now, someone calls out to somebody. Gio believes it's her, but it's then revealed that the train guard that's coming to punch holes in the tickets found somebody else. It seems that he's the leader of a gang of bandits, and they've got wanted posters all over the place. And I like how Schmidt just turns back for an instant. He's like, I guess we got lucky. There was another fugitive on this train. And Gio's just pissed at him. But then somebody else appears out of nowhere and takes Gio hostage, saying, I'll kill the kid if you don't stop the train. And Schmidt, seeing Gio taken hostage, is like, dude, you could have just escaped the train during the commotion. If you didn't say anything or do anything, you could have escaped no problem. What is the matter with you? Which, yeah, fair point. You could have gotten out of the situation with little to no consequence if he just dipped after the whole commotion started. But with Geo taken hostage, that was a bad decision, as NERAID comes up, telling him to let her go, and that he'll just leave things be, and to not get in their way. Now, the guy says, don't move, don't even take a step, or she's dead. And NERAID says, so I just need to not take a step then? The bandit taunts NERAID more, as NERAID unleashes his tail, breaks through the floor of the train, surprising the bandit, realizing, wait, he's a dragonfolk? Oh fuck. And with his tail stuck to the ground, we see an awesome 2-page spread. He then drop kicks the bandit square in his face, taking him by surprise. As Schmidt explains that by fixing his tail in one singular location, he used the train's forward momentum to land a kick with insane force. So he just planted his tail in the ground and just let the train keep going forward as it moved for him, closing the distance in an instant, which is really freaking cool usage of the whole I'm not gonna take a step to beat you type of deal, and pretty strategic in all manner, and I kinda like it. And Chio, while glad that she is saved, is like, dude, that is way too over the top. With the chapter ending with NERAID apologizing, saying that we lost our tickets, sorry about that. Mind letting us ride for free? But the guy on the train just says, you're gonna have to pay for this damage, as the chapter ends. So, all in all, outside of the information that we got about what NERAID is actually doing by putting his tail back inside and suppressing his power and adds to his further strength, it's really interesting to really dive into and discuss. But other than that, it's just standard filler-esque in-between chapter, take out a random bandit with some really cool utilization of your powers and show your overwhelming strength and end things off with a gag. More gags in this chapter, I had fun with it, nothing too big to write home about besides the whole revelation of NERAID suppressing his power and going into a human-like state and all that, so not too much to discuss, as I said, but still a really fun chapter nonetheless. But what did you guys think? Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments section down below. All your thoughts of the revelations we saw in this chapter and the honest-to-God fun way that NERAID used his tail to actually win a fight without moving an inch. And let me know your theories on that mysterious character that we saw at the cover image. Is it Yuri Holst? Is it a potential ally or antagonist that we'll see in the upcoming arc? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. And once more, if you haven't already, like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps and it shows you guys enjoy the content and make care on the channel and shows you want to see more. All that said and done, I hope you all have an awesome day.